In February 1983, a school bus driver pulling her regular route down a rural Ohio road stopped to remove a handwritten sign nailed to a fence. That sign was tethered by a piece of string to a small hidden box. Inside was a loaded pistol, rigged to fire directly at whoever tried to remove it. This physical trap was the climax of an anonymous psychological harassment campaign that had already targeted her family for 7 years. A local man was eventually convicted and sent to prison for building the device. Yet somehow, the exact same stream of anonymous threats kept arriving in the mail for another 10 years, while he was locked in a cell. That single jammed gun took a localized case of neighborhood stalking and turned it into an enduring, deeply disputed mystery. 7 years earlier, in 1976, Circleville, Ohio was a quiet town 30 miles south of Columbus, a place where people knew their neighbors. Then, residents started finding strange, unsigned envelopes in their mailboxes. These letters exposed affairs, accused local officials of corruption, and detailed highly specific secrets. Mary Gillispie, the local school bus driver, was the first major target. The letters accused her of having a hidden relationship with the superintendent of the school district. When Mary denied the accusations, the writer pivoted to her husband, Ron. His letters arrived with clear instructions: put a stop to the affair or face violent consequences. The entire community faced a terrifying new reality. An invisible, omniscient observer was quietly documenting their private lives. On the night of August 19, 1977, Ron Gillispie answered a phone call that left him visibly enraged. He grabbed his handgun and immediately drove off into the dark. Less than an hour later, police found Ron dead. His car had crashed into a tree. His gun had been fired a single time, though investigators could not determine what he was shooting at or why. The official autopsy recorded his blood alcohol level at twice the legal limit. His family fiercely disputed this, insisting heavy drinking was entirely out of character for him. While authorities ruled the crash an accident, the anonymous writer immediately capitalized on the death. New letters circulated openly, mocking Ron and accusing local police of covering up a murder. Ron's death recast the perpetrator as a potential killer who operated with absolute impunity. By 1983, the campaign moved from private mail to public displays. Handwritten signs detailing explicit accusations were nailed up along the isolated roads Mary drove every day. Which brings us back to the February booby trap. When Mary tried to remove the sign, the rigged pistol jammed. The firing mechanism completely failed, and Mary survived. She took the device straight to the police. Technicians at the state crime lab pulled a serial number off the gun and traced it directly to a man named Paul Freshour, Mary's own brother-in-law. Freshour had spent the last several years publicly clashing with the police, demanding they reinvestigate Ron's death as a homicide. He claimed his vocal criticism made him an easy target to be framed. But to the terrified residents of Circleville, the origin of the gun provided a concrete face to their fears. The phantom observer was suddenly replaced by the shock of family betrayal. Later that year, Freshour was convicted of attempted murder. The prosecution built their case heavily on a non-standard handwriting analysis, claiming his writing matched the anonymous letters. But as Freshour sat in an isolated prison cell serving a 10-year sentence, hundreds of highly specific letters continued flooding Circleville. The letters contained fresh, intimate secrets about the townspeople. Gathering new surveillance and in covertly mailing hundreds of letters from a heavily monitored cell was logistically impossible for a single inmate. The brazenness of the author only grew. When the television program Unsolved Mysteries arrived in 1993 to investigate the case, the production team immediately received an anonymous letter threatening them to leave. The sheer volume and accuracy of the continued mail shattered the certainty of Freshour's conviction. The town was forced to face reality. The real author was likely still out there. This chart tracks the letter volume alongside Freshour's incarceration. In 1994, the exact year Freshour was paroled, the letters abruptly stopped. Some view this as absolute proof of his guilt. Others argue it was a meticulously timed exit strategy by the real author. Freshour maintained his innocence until his death in 2012. Independent journalists and modern forensic experts have since reviewed the handwriting analysis used at his trial, finding it deeply flawed by today's standards. Despite the forensic doubts and the logistical impossibility of the prison letters, no other suspect has ever been formally investigated or charged. The justice system secured a conviction and closed the file. But the 18 years of terror left behind an unresolved question, allowing whoever truly wrote the Circleville letters to simply fade back into the town.